It is exactly 9:15. This is News and Views on Salam Media, and we do welcome our Polokwane listeners to the show. They are, of course, on One Nation FM. Still to come, we'll be talking with Dr. Fahima Ismail to give us feedback on the IMA conference. We'll also talk with Leandra Paulson, Voice of the Cape journalist, about the storms in the Western Cape. But first up, we'll talk with Dilshad Parker. She is the founder of Hungry for Halal. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam, Sister Julie. Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you here. And of course, it is Heritage Month. Yesterday, the weekend was the Heritage Weekend. We also know that I think this coming weekend there's going to be a halal goods market happening here in downtown Johannesburg. These pop up all of the time. And I want to understand how significant these pop up markets are, how they serve the Muslim and other communities in and around wherever they do pop up, and how do they kind of almost put out the message around the halal food industry. And that, of course, is where you come in. You are the founder of Hungry for Halal. What is it all about?
So, Hungry for Halal was it sort of came about to fill a gap. About 10 years ago, the internet blogosphere was blowing up with information. Everybody was writing blogs, and um, you people were writing a lot of reviews about restaurants, and if you wanted to go and eat out, you could quite easily find information about which restaurant you wanted to go visit, what they were serving, what it was like, and so forth. And me and my friends, being people that love eating out and having experiences, would troll the internet trying to find information about halal food and halal restaurants. And the information was so sparse and so um, untrustworthy because they weren't written by Muslim people. A lot of these restaurants were serving what is commonly known as halal friendly. And to distinguish between what was halal and what was halal friendly became quite difficult. And I realized that there was a need in the digital space for information that served Muslim people with information that they could trust by people who understood the halal landscape. And I started just as a side thing, as a hobby, I started blogging my restaurant experiences. And that
How
time
big, how big is your following as you and I speak now? How big is your following?
I've got about 70,000 followers across channels. So we're
Subhanallah.
talking about Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then my website has a newsletter, a weekly newsletter that we put out, and we've got a subscriber database as well. So we've got about 70,000 followers across channels.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
Uh,
grown and it grew organically back then. Just blogging once a month, which is crazy. Nobody can do once a month anymore. Um, and the audience grew organically, and I saw that there was a real need. And in 2016, I transformed the casual blog into a business. The website, I had the website designed. It turned into a proper resource, a searchable database and resource and directory where people can go and find a halal restaurant or accommodation or catering service in their area. So it's searchable by various categories like the type of cuisine, the area. Um, yeah,
and this is national.
this is
This is
national. Yes,
national. Are
this
you
is
planning on
national.
going international? Because I
Inshallah,
see the
yes.
scope for that.
There is a scope for that, but it's not something that I'm rushing out at the moment. I want to get it right here, and I want to serve our local community and our local population, our Muslim community, with good quality information. Now, it's not also a project that I just smack together and and put out there. It's something I really put thought into. We do good quality information. We vet as far as possible. We're not a certifying body, so we don't go out and do inspections and so forth. But we vet as far as possible the information that we put out there and the information that we allow on the website, that it is trusted, that people can be assured that the place that they are going to find on our website isn't halal friendly. It is fully halal. So we do put
Mhm.
a lot of effort into the information that is on the website and into how it's presented as well. We do want to stand together with other platforms that offer quality information and restaurant reviews, like Eat Out, for instance, which is at this stage the largest platform for finding information about restaurants and for trusted reviews and so forth. And this is what we want to offer the Muslim community, who are a huge part of the South African economy.
Inshallah. Your take on halal goods market, I think that's what they called halal
Halal
good.
goods market, yes, that is
Yes,
that
and
is
they
the project from FIMS.
right, and it pops up every now and again, and I know that people get very excited about it. I'm embarrassed to say I've never ever attended any one of those. I just don't have the time. I should do sometime soon. But your take on those markets, are they really worth it? I know they a huge attraction for our community. What sort of purpose do you believe they serve?
I think a halal goods market in particular has done a lot for bringing mainstream focus into the halal space. I think FIMS has done a great job with putting together a market that isn't just also like I said, I want to bring quality information and a quality presentation to the website that I put out there. I feel that she's taken the same route and she's put together a market that isn't just something that's been smacked together and held in a stadium somewhere or any venue. She's really curated her vendors. She's made the market beautiful. Um, it's not just about selling your wares. It's about presenting the market in such a way that it has a world class feel to it. So you're not going to just go there for the food. You're going there for the food, the aesthetics, and it's not just food that you are
It's
getting
for the
exposed
experience.
to.
It's
It's
for
for
the
the
total
experience as well.
experience.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
and
Alhamdulillah.
the halal goods market hasn't only been aimed at Muslim people. It's gotten into mainstream media. You go to halal goods market, you'll find a lot of non-Muslim people attending because the variety of food you can get and the quality of food you can get is so good and so varied. And I think it's attracted a lot of non-Muslim patrons, and I think that has done a lot to bring the concept of halal and halal food into focus in mainstream. And I think that's quite important because for so long people in corporate, especially Muslim people in corporate, feel very sidelined in the corporate environment when it comes to functions, when it comes to events hosted by corporate companies and so on. We're always the afterthought. We're always the cling wrap plate that you get on the side or
I
after
know.
So
I've experienced that many a time.
exactly. And it's not the nicest thing, and it's so simple to actually just make your entire spread halal, and that
Absolutely.
serves everybody. And I
Yeah.
think I think platforms like Hungry for Halal and Halal Goods Market have done a lot to bring halal into mainstream media and to make awareness of that a bigger thing.
So, Dilshad, we're going to wrap up by talking about this amazing article that was written by Soraya Dadu. It appeared in one of the broadsheets. When I read it, I kind of just said, wow. I realized just how much of, you know, someone looking at it very casually, looking at the article very casually, might think, ah, it's just kind of a throwaway piece, but it's not, because I can, just reading the article, realize just how much of research went into putting this article together. Tell me about this article, please. I know you have in-depth knowledge about it.
So Suraya is a freelance journalist for the Daily Maverick, and she wrote this article for Daily Maverick, and she put research into the particularly the food scene, the halal food scene in South Africa, and its evolution over the last few years, and where we've come from, and where we are now, and the transformation that's taken place within the halal food landscape. And there's been so much happening also, not just in South Africa but globally, where halal is concerned. A few years ago in the Western Cape, the Department of Agriculture started a project aimed at growing the export market of the Western Cape into the halal space, the halal export market. And they'd started a process that would facilitate um, manufacturers that wanted to produce halal, making it easier for them to produce halal within manufacturing environments, so that we could get more halal goods out into the international market from South Africa. That's how big the global international economy for halal is growing. Is everybody is wanting to get into the halal economy, and this has had a sort of a knock-on effect within the country in terms of growing the knowledge of halal food. You actually see um, franchises, big franchises like Spur, like Colcaccio, Panarottis, Mug and Bean. You actually see all the big franchises have started seeing the value. Look, Spur Group saw the value of halal many, many years ago, and they've progressively over time they've had more and more halal stores coming up. And more recently, Colcaccio has finally, after many, many years of Muslims asking for a halal Colcaccio, they've started turning some of their stores into halal stores. So the franchise space is seeing the need and is seeing the value of bringing halal food into their businesses, into their franchises. And the same is going in general. Halal food is being recognized by larger platforms as well. There's halal businesses, small businesses like Smoky Joe's, for instance, in KZN, has been recognized for best burger. Sorry,
Yeah.
not KZN, in Joburg, has been recognized by 94.7 as best burger in Joburg. That was last year, and even internationally, via a TripAdvisor competition or award, they were recognized as 12th best burger in the world. That's
Yes.
that's huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, we need to wrap up now, and let's talk about where to next for a hungry for halal.
Where to next? Okay,
Yeah,
so inshallah, we do have big plans in the pipeline. One thing we feel is needed. So we've been doing a top five halal restaurants of Cape Town and Johannesburg and Durban for a few years now, and it's been a readers' vote, and every year we get our readers to vote for top five restaurants, and we feel this needs to get bigger, and we need to have a more we need to have more recognition within our halal space. We feel our halal restaurants are not recognized for what they bring to the economy. We've got wonderful restaurants. We've got restaurants entering the fine dining space as well, with true halal fine dining options, not just nice and upmarket, but actual proper fine dining offerings. And we want to give recognition, proper recognition, into the halal space, and that's where we want to focus in the next year, is to bring a platform to offer that recognition to our restaurants, to our halal restaurants.
Dilshad Parker, wonderful talking with you. It just makes me hungry talking with you this morning.
Then my work here is done.
Absolutely. I look forward to talking with you again sometime in the future. You
Inshallah.
do what you're doing because it is the right thing you're doing. And I can't wait for you to get into the international space as well. You go
Ameen.
well. Keep us in your
Thank you
du'as
so
and salaam alaikum to you.
much. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me.
It is exactly 9:30. News and views on Salam Media still to come up on the show this morning. Dr. Fahima Ismail to give us feedback on the Islamic Medical Association's conference, which ended yesterday. And we're now going to be talking about the storms lashing the Eastern and the Western Cape province, where we now regarding that situation. Leandra Paulson from Voice of the Cape will be giving us an update on that situation.